In Part 3 of MassFX 2014 found in 3ds Max, we're going to continue looking at cloth and how we can use the cloth modifier to create some dynamic animations with little or no effort compared to trying to keyframe them. And that's by using MassFX as a kind of a physics generator to apply the cloth and rigid body properties to various objects along with mass, gravity, wind, and whatnot. So in this example, I'm just going to kind of do another brief review. I have a cylinder here with quite a few height segments in there. And you could probably consider this, maybe this is like a cable or a wire of some sort. And we're going to add that to the M-cloth. So I'm taking a solid object and applying the M-cloth, and I can immediately do a simulation, and you can see it falls like a wire, like a cable almost. And that, of course, is going to depend on the structure of the wire. Notice how it's very smashed now. It lost its rigidity there. And there are ways of kind of influencing that. But for the most part, I just want to kind of do this as an example of how a tearing issue occurs here. So let's say, for instance, we have a, I don't know, I'm going to just throw this random box up here. This box is going to be like a bulkhead of some sort. And then I'm also going to take this and put another box down here like a tension wire or whatnot. So this is like a tension wire in between two objects. Now we do have to add them both. The top box, I'm going to go ahead and just leave that as a static. And I'm also I'm going to change this bottom one. It's not going to be a static. It's going to be a kinematic. And we haven't seen this yet in my tutorials, but kinematic means I'm going to keyframe that object moving. So if I turn on auto key and I move, let's say over 100 frames, I want this object to fall down to the ground. Now I'm going to turn off auto key, and I have a problem here, and that is I'm going below the grid line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move my entire scene up above the grid line so we don't have that issue. So now, what you can see is at 100 frames, this dynamic, kinematic, I should say, object is going to be animated. Now, we have a cloth modifier already on here, so what we're going to do is we're going to break that down into its vertices. And here, I'm going to select these top two vertices, zoom in there, and I'm going to build a group, make a group. I'll call this upper group. That upper group is going to get connected to the node. Then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to take my bottom vertices and make another group. This is going to call lower. And I'm going to node that to the kinematic object. So now when we take a look at this, and we go back out of the M-cloth here, and we do a simulation, I'm going to hit play, the object's going to fall and stretch. And it's going to keep going until it hits the ground. So pretty much what we did is we just stretched the heck out of that cable because there's tension in between there. Now that's pretty realistic. That could happen, right? We could actually animate this thing bobbing up and down or bouncing, and everywhere it would bounce, the cable would go. So you can imagine the possibilities. But we're going to do one more, and that, of course, is what if we wanted this to tear as it animated? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click the cloth, I'm going to go back in the vertex, and I'm going to select this section right in here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this section. I'm going to make a third group, and I'm going to call it tear. Now once the tear group is set, I'm going to go ahead and hit the word make tear, hit OK, and now what's going to happen is when it stretches beyond a certain point, it's going to snap and fall. And you'll see that the cable will then coil at the bottom. Now gravity's kind of being a little weird here. It's kind of reacting with some rigidity. But for the most part, you kind of get the point. Now we look back here again. And as it goes, we hit play. It's going to pretty much snap right at that line. We could have done multiple tears in here. We could actually tear half here, make another tear group here, and it would actually fray the various vertices away, breaking apart. So the tear group option is really kind of neat. Let's do another one. And let's just look at a normal plane here for a second. If I draw my plane, I'm going to back up here and throw some sections in it. Maybe 2020. And let's say we'll go back and do the same kinematic ordeal we've done earlier. Where I'm going to go ahead and take a box on this side, like a frame, a box on this side as a frame. And these two objects simultaneously can be added in as, no, take that back. One object, why not? We'll do kinematic. We'll make them both kinematic, all right? So we'll go in, we'll take this kinematic. We're going to auto key those at the end of frame 100 to split apart. I go back to the beginning of the simulation. I put my M cloth on here. I take my vertices. Again, I'm going to attach one group, which I will node that. I select my second group, make the group, node it to there. And as we anticipate, if we do the simulation, as the box pulls, it stretches the cloth. Now as I return, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tear group in there. I'm going to go ahead and take my spray can tool. I'm going to go back into vertex, and I'm going to just kind of hold control and kind of do some random tears. Okay, I'm going to make that a group. Tear 2. Tear 2 is going to make a group. And now when I come out of M cloth, I'm going to do a preview. And as the object splits, you'll see it start to tear. But because I didn't cut it straight down the middle, it's never going to completely tear into two pieces. It's simply going to let these pieces fly out. And of course, we should look at the gravity of the situation and how these objects keep going and how the simulation stops. It's kind of these pieces are sort of in limbo, but you get the point. So that's a little bit on tearing with the M-Cloth modifier and MassFX. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope that you can use these in some of your projects that will enhance the excitement and make them a little bit more engaging.